Hola, hi, hola, hi. Hi, hello, hola, hi. Welcome back, everybody. Learning language, por of course supuesto. We're going to do a slight Spanish lesson, some unique translations, and then we're just going to kind of jump around and talk about some theorems that I just drove, and try to stuff all of this science together. Again, I told you just real quick, I was going to go figure out what slope was, and I had to do a quick sidetrack for several years. But again, just trying to pull all of these ideas from everything I'm talking about together. All right, ¿qué tal? Let's do some Spanish first. We've discussed this, again, what such, literally, but used as a, what's going on, what's up, how's it going, just introduction. But literally, what such. And so after some more research, very confident that some sort of logically reflexive of ¿qué tal? Such that, or that such, or excuse me, I wrote that wrong, but tal K, such that, right? It's very, very powerful logical statement. Oh, such that. Instantly sounds like a math proof. Such that. But I'm sure ¿qué tal? Is again somehow just iterating or flipping or reciprocating the logic of tal K. And in speaking, accent wouldn't be obvious, and it's literally the same letters. So I'm sure that's kind of where that phrase comes from for the question. It's tal K. But what such that. Another example we have in this, my national bestseller bilingual dictionary, they'll just have the phrase tal vez, right? Such time. Literally, and then it says in the dictionary perhaps, and then translated back to English, I have at such time. You would say that the same semantically. Such time, at such time. Perhaps, no. And again, just this is coming from context for sure. Semantic literal, but now here's the fun one, right? We've said por supuesto. The title of the video, por of course supuesto. Ask any Spanish speaker what por supuesto means, they'll say of course. Ask anyone how you say of course in Spanish, they'll say por supuesto. But por clearly by supuesto. Supuesto, I looked up, I don't have it marked, but it's got a lot of different definitions. I should just have this stuff marked, but I'm just trying to get the stuff that again is really unique to me and really new. I probably won't be able to find it real quick. Hey, here we go. Punto. Sorry. It says, just reading all of the entries into the dictionary. Bien puesto. Then casa, bien puesto in bold, casa in parentheses. And that says well appointed. And it says persona, well made up. Llevar, to have on. Posición in Spanish in parentheses, and then it says place. Say de venta, booth. Stand. De trabajo, post. And then comma, position, colon. So this to me, literally what this translates to me, por supuesto, last time I said, literally word for word, if you just took it out of the dictionary, right, by supposed, like supuesto, those were the entries for puesto, but supuesto will say supposed, and at the end it'll say supposition, and I like the by supposition better for semantic conversational definition. But for a literal definition, this strikes me as by su, as in possessive, mi casa, su casa, by supuesto, por supuesto. The rhythm differentiates the su to me. So to me that strikes me as, where did this phrase come from? By his military position. That's my word completely introduced, just where would this come from? Like, when do you say of course in English? When you mean semantically, obviously. Of course, sure, obviously. So if you were a little bitch in the military and you said, hey, Jorge, go clean the fucking rifles, por supuesto, by his position. That's really, historically, this is really what this phrase strikes me as, and I'm pretty confident. I'm putting 95% confident on that. 100% on por for by, supuesto, 95% it's su, mi casa, su casa, a possessive article, a pronoun. and then this historically where it's coming from. So that's really the only Spanish lesson. We'll do one other thing, but now we're just getting into logical derivation. I want to start off with a very important question. Why the fuck do we say of course? Forget Spanish now. I'm de Columbus, Ohio. What does that mean literally? Of course? What course? Let me make sure the camera's still rolling. So very clearly, semantically, like what we mean by that is obviously, right? Of course, words to obviously an adjective or whatever the lees are. Yeah, adjectives. But that's kind of what we mean. So now, getting back like the it is what it is, lowercase k lowercase, right? If I've said if English ranges logic, has more prepositions, is more descriptive, is more specific, is more differentiated, and logic is deductive, translating English reduces to base, that is, it is what it is. Such that, tolke, it is what it is. Tolke, lowercase k lowercase. But translating, so again, I'm trying the final, you can't say what you don't know. I'm trying to show you some fundamental integrated logic by translating back to the it is what it is base, right? And now, again, I have a bunch of notes. I'm just going to read some stuff off. But it is what it is connects words with logic to produce a definition. Remember, our sounds, literally our physics produces sounds, movement produces sounds, and we associate those sounds to other sounds or other meanings, other words, and that's what a dictionary is. A definition is an association. In the last episode, we talked about Sarah being to definition. But a course, getting back to a course, our question at hand, just what other English uses of course do we have, right? This is a learning course. My lectures are a learning course. If I go golfing, I go to the golf course. If I go to the racetrack, I could call that a course, like the obstacle course. So a course is a way. Where there is a will, there is a camino. Camino es way. So that, right, that little phrase, again, strikes me as Spanish origin, or at least uniquely translated through the Spanish language. But we can literally translate of course. Semantically, it's of course to obviously, of course, of way. Have you ever said of way before? I don't think so. And then I just have the phrase stay the course, right? In English, stay the course. Where there is a will, there is a way. Where there is a will, there is a course. Stay the course. Bunch of history going on. But I just have other words that are synonyms of course. Course, way, path, track. We could also use it as a verb. The blood is coursing through my veins. So, what the fuck is this? A course is a way. We say pathway, not way path. True. Where there is a will, there is a course. And now, right, if I were to translate that back to Spanish, I don't even have it's not relevant, but there, right? This is another tidbit of Spanish, right? If you translate there into Spanish, it's positionally relative. Ahi, allí, allá. Go. There's no one that this is not. These are relative terms based on context, and typically, right? I think it linguistically, if I had to conjecture out of the bat, it's just to differentiate in a given conversation, right? Because there's no ahi is this amount of distance, allí is this amount of distance, and people say they are, and I've read that as well, but it's just not true. And allá is that amount. It's just semantic differentiation. So that was the only other tidbit about Spanish. Again, I'm just jumping around with a bunch of different logical derivation. But finished off with a definition is an association. And then we can say a bunch of different, just quick proofs. Context is infinite. Physically, all black bodies radiate. All environments change. Slang slants context. The it is what it is, lowercase k lowercase statement. That's the form, that's the base, that's the form of all definitions. And slang, right? Of course, this is slang. This is logical slang. 100% definitions are finite. Now we can start connecting this back to our ideas of numerals, numbers. It is what it is base, slang is range, right? How many dimensionality 3? We'll just say base is finite, proven by dimensionality 3. Just saw Lex Friedman doing this is the symbol for dimensionality 3, like 3 perpendicular fingers. That was just a different hand signal. But there's your geometric anatomical proof of dimensionality 3 that you guys figured out. But you can have all 3 fingers perpendicular to one another, from one origin, from one base, your hand. And that was on Lex Friedman's podcast, I believe, the past couple week or something. We can say mathematically, finite is rational. And now we can remove the is statement and say finite terminates. All black bodies radiate, all living things die. Nothing golden lasts, pony boy. But remember, we remove the is, it is what it is. Is still, everything's unique, biologically unique. Infinite biological uniqueness. Infinite mean-free paths. Pathways, not way paths. But we can just make that statement. And now we can try to, again, up here before we had the counting numbers, counting iteration, numeral iterations. Like, and I've done a bunch of the other rhythm episodes. But now we can kind of put a unique translation limit on Spanish, right? There's only 5 unique question words in the Spanish language. Sí. Who, qui, what, qué, when, cuándo, where, dónde, how, cómo, why. There isn't any. We have just proven that English is the range of Spanish. And I'm assuming I'm not assuming, I'm trying to present a complete solution, and none of you fucks can possibly check it. But again, is English unique? Is it new? It's more differentiated. I like that statement better now. More prepositions. It's certainly the default language of science. It's more differentiated. It's more specific. It's less dependent. It's more generally relative. Nice. But porque is not a unique translation of the word why. So there's 5, we have 6 unique question words in English, and spot the odd one out. It's clearly how, who to people, what, when to time, where to location, why. Again, can't forgive me and solve that right now. We have a definitive result, 5 unique question words in the Spanish language. And then we can say it is what it is not a question, right? It is what it is. We've proven that's the base of logical reduction. A conversation is a reduction of logic. Questions reduce confusion. Yes, see, if you ask a question, you're confused. And if you get an answer and you get a response, you're going to be less confused, Johnny. Jorge? Y Jorge? Todos los Jorges? Así? No, también? No, así? También? Also? Así? So? También? Also? To with T-O-O? Questions, request, response. And questions, direct statements. So now, again, those were just, clear things. I thought this was very poignant for me. I hope you've learned something about English or Spanish or of Course Supuesto. So what does that literally translate to now that we've covered all the definitions? By, of course, English, don't even, course, still confused as an English speaker? Supuesto. By, of course, his position. I don't know. That's what I've learned in language in the past couple days. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something too.